Hello everyone. Just let me know whether my screen is visible and voice is clearly audible to you or not. Okay, we will just wait for a couple of more minutes. We will start our today's discussion. Okay, so good afternoon to all. Before Diwali vacation, we were discussing unit number 5, and we have also seen the logic circuits, different logic circuits in this unit. So these are nothing but a combinational circuits, and our sequential part has been started from flip-flops. Okay. So we have also seen what are the flip-flops. There are different types of flip-flops in your syllabus, and these are SR, JK, D, and T. Okay. So what is flip-flop? So flip-flops are basically building block of your sequential circuit. It can store 1 bit of memory, and it is also called as 1 bit memory cell. The output of flip-flop, it has two stable state. Either the output will be high or output will be low. Okay. And the output can remain either in these states for indefinite amount of time. The output will change only when the proper signals are applied. So you can observe here, this is the block diagram of any flip-flop. So any flip-flop will have a number of inputs. In most of the cases, we use either one input or two input. Okay, but it can have multiple number of inputs. But outputs are fixed, and there are two outputs. So first output is Q and second one is Q bar, that is complement of Q. So as it is already mentioned here that Q bar is nothing but a complement of Q. Always remember that whatever is the value of Q, the Q bar will be its complement. So if Q is equals to 0, then Q bar will be 1, and if Q equals to 1, then Q bar will be 0. So Q is also called as normal output, and Q bar is called as inverted output. So the output of flip-flop will be always Q and Q bar. right? And there are two more important points, that are reset state and set state. So depending on the value of q, if q is equals to 0, you can observe here, when q is equals to 0, then obviously q bar will be 1, and this condition we will call that our flip-flop is in reset state. When q equals to 0 and q bar is 1, we will call our flip-flop is in reset state, or the flip-flop is reset. Similarly, when q equals to the value of q is 1, then obviously q bar will be equals to 0, and this state is called as set state. So these two states you should remember, reset state and set state. When q is equals to 0, we will call that our flip-flop is in reset state, and when q equals to 1, we will call our flip-flop is set. It is in set state. Okay, so these are the few important points about any flip-flop. Then we already discussed the RS flip-flop, or it is also called as SR. Okay, RS, SR, one and the same thing. So this is the block diagram of your RS flip-flop. It will have three inputs. R stands for reset. This is CLK is nothing but clock input. So always remember, clock should be high. Okay, clock should be high. In sequential circuits, clocks are necessary. Clocks are very important. This is the difference between combinational and sequential. Then S stands for set. So these three inputs are there. Actually, there are only two inputs, but if you consider clock again, then there will be total three inputs. Output will be same, Q and Q bar. Inside this box, there is actual circuit diagram is like this. So if you observe, these are the two AND gates. This is the AND gate number 1, and this is 1. This is second AND gate, and again NOR gate are there, two NOR gates. And just observe these connections. These are very important connections. The output Q bar is given to the one of the input to the NOR gate. Similarly, the output Q is given to the one of the input of this particular NOR gate. Okay, so these interconnections are very important, and if you observe, this circuit will work as an RS flip-flop. Okay, so we have already seen the working, and depending on the working, there will be, just go through, I will just tell you to go through this particular working. We have already seen this actually, so just go through that one more time, since we have discussed this particular point before Diwali vacation, right? So it may happen that you have forgotten this, so just go through this. And the important point is the truth table of this RS flip-flop. This is the truth table. So always remember, whenever the clock is 0, there will not be, irrespective of any input, okay, irrespective of the value of R and S, there will be no change. That means whatever the output in earlier stage, it is Q अगर आपका 0 होता, तो Q will be 0 as it is, Q bar will be 1 if your clock is 0. Okay. In order to work this particular circuit as a RS flip-flop, you have to always take care of this particular condition, that is clock should be always 1. Only when clock is equals to 1, circuit will be act as a RS or SR flip-flop, and the same thing. Okay, so you can observe here, whenever set input is 1, that is the value of set, the value of S, it is 1, then the Q is set to 1, the value of Q will be 1. Okay. Similarly, when the value of R is 1, I'm talking about this case, R equals to 1 and S equals to 0. That means the value of R is equals to 1, then we will call that Q is reset to 0. Okay, तो set जब high होगा तब क्या होगा, your Q will be equals to 1, and when reset is high then Q will be equals to 0. Again, last condition, if you put this particular case in this circuit diagram, let's go back. So I'm talking about when R equals to 1 and S equals to 1. So in this particular case, clock is always high. So what will happen here? The output of both AND gates will be 1 1. Okay, because everything is 1 1 1. So now in this case, for NOR gate, we know whenever there is 1, whenever one of the input to the NOR gate is 1, the output is 0, right? Whenever one of the input to the NOR gate is 1, we can clearly state that the output is 0. So this NOR gate output will be also 0 and this NOR gate output will be also 0. But we know that Q and Q bar are the complements of each other. This should not happen, right? Here the value of Q is also 0 and Q bar also 0. So it is not valid case. Okay, that's why the fourth case, that is when R equals to 1 and S equals to 1, this state is nothing but invalid state. Okay, right. So this last state is invalid or undetermined state. So this is regarding RS flip-flop. Now what we have done in the JK flip-flop, JK flip-flop is nothing but a next flip-flop. So this particular fourth case, when R equals to 1 and S equals to 1 was there, this particular case was of no use actually, right? So what we have done in JK flip-flop, we have utilized this fourth case. We have done some changes in our circuit and then we have removed this invalid case by toggle case. We have replaced invalid case by toggle case. Okay, so now just we will see what are just modifications of the JK flip-flop. Okay, so before going to the JK flip-flop, again remember this is the second circuit diagram, or this is the alternative circuit diagram of SR flip-flop. Now if you observe in this diagram, there are all 4 NAND gates are used. In earlier diagram we have used 2 AND gates and 2 NOR gates, but here you can observe 4 NAND gates are there. Okay, so again truth table I have already mentioned, just put these values and verify whether this truth table is correct or wrong. Here also you can observe whenever R is equals to 1, then Q is reset to 0, and when S equals to 1, the Q is set to 1, and the fourth condition is again invalid one. So you can remember either one of the circuit diagram. Okay, don't get confused. Now what are the modifications we have done in SR? So if you observe, this is the circuit diagram of JK flip-flop. So simply, what is the difference between SR and JK flip-flop? If you observe this particular connection. Okay, so Q bar is taken from here and it is given to this upper NAND gate. So these 2 NAND gates have now become 3 input NAND gates. In case of SR, it was 2 input NAND gates. I will just go one slide back. You can observe these 2 NANDs. Again, this interconnection is there, and these are nothing but 2 input NAND gates, S and R. Okay, so I'm just taking the modifications in JK and SR. So again, if you observe this particular connection, this input terminal, which is nothing but Q bar, I'll just draw it for you. Okay. So this connection is additional. Similarly, one more connection is additional. That is, Q is given to the one of the input of lower, sorry. So Q is given to the one of the input to this lower NAND gate. Okay. So this is the only difference in the connection. And what they have done, that this was earlier S, it is named as J, and it was earlier R, so it is now named as K. Why? Because J and K are nothing but its inventor was Jack Kilby. His name was Jack Kilby, so that's why he have given his initials. So SR is now replaced by J and K, and the only change is this particular two connections. These are the modifications. By doing these modifications, what we have done, we have actually removed the invalid condition by the toggle condition. Now, what do you mean by toggle condition? So just you can go through this particular working. It is quite simple. Fourth case is very important. Okay, this fourth case is very important. That is when j equals to 1 and k equals to 1 and clock is also 1. Obviously clock has to be high only. Whenever clock is 0, there will be, irrespective of whatever is your input, output will be no change. If q equals to 0, then your output will be remain as it is. It will remain as it is. So the clock should be always 1. Now we are discussing this case. You can verify all these three conditions or all these three cases or 4 cases in total. Now whenever the value of j is equals to 1, the value of k is also 1 and clock will be always 1. So now what is happening here? So just we'll just take a look at the working, how it is working. Right. So now the value of j is 1, clock is also 1 and k is also 1. So in case of RS, it was invalid, right? But what will happen in case of JK? We are just discussing that. Okay. So now we will just first consider that the value of Q, because you observe that these two are, this one and these two. These two are nothing but 3 input NAND gates. Okay. So for these 3 input NAND gates, the values of 2 input we know. Okay. For this upper NAND gate, the value of J is known to us and the value of CLK, that is clock, is also known to us. But this particular value is not known to us, which is nothing but Q bar. Similarly, for lower NAND gate, the value of clock and K is known to us, but the third input is unknown, which is nothing but the Q. So what we will do, we will assume initially that the Q is, let's assume the value of Q is 0 and obviously the value of Q bar will be 1. So now using these assumptions, now we know the value of Q bar. So this Q bar is nothing but this particular third input. Similarly, this Q is nothing but the third input of your lower NAND gate. It is 0. Okay. So now upper 3 input NAND gate, the inputs to upper 3 input NAND gate are 1, 1 and 1. So when all the inputs are 1, the output of NAND is 0. Okay. We know the working of NAND gate, right? Whenever one of the input to the NAND gate is 0, it means the output is 1. Similarly, I am applying here. Whenever the input, one of the input to the NAND gate is 0, its output is 1. Now observe, initially what we have assumed? We have assumed that initially the value of Q is 0. But now the value of Q has now become 1. Similarly, this 1 is nothing but it is connected to here. So now the inputs to this NAND gate becomes 1, 1. So what will be the output? It will be 0. So just observe, initially our assumption was Q equals to 0 and Q bar equals to 1. We have started with this assumption. But at the end of this working, what we have seen, the value of Q has been changed to 1 and the value of Q bar is changed to 0. That means whatever will be the initial assumption, it will be toggling. What do you mean by toggling? That if your value is 0, the next value will be 1. If your value is 1, the next value will be 0. So that means whenever j equals to k equals to 1, that means when both j and k pins are high, then your output is in toggle mode. Toggle mode means whenever your output is 0, then in next step it will be 1, and if it is initially 1, then in next step it will be 0. It is nothing but toggling, right? You can again verify the same thing. Now in this case, we have assumed the value of Q is equals to 0. Now we will assume Q equals to 1. Okay. I will again do the same changes. Okay, so again we are still discussing the final case, that is when j equals to 1 and k equals to also 1. Now in this case, now we will assume the Q is initially 1 and Q bar is initially 0. So this Q bar is nothing but one of the input to this NAND gate. It will be 0. And this one is nothing but one of the input to the lower 3 input NAND gate, that will be 1. So now for lower 3 input NAND gate, all inputs are 1. So that means its output is 0. For upper 3 input NAND gate, one of the input is 0. So that means the output is 1. Similarly, we are applying this same logic. Whenever one of the input to the NAND gate is 0, its output will be 1. So now this 1 is nothing but, if you observe this connection, so it is nothing but one of the input to the 2 input NAND gate. So now for this NAND gate, what are the inputs? 1 and 1. So the output will be 0. So now just observe. Initially what we have assumed? The value of Q we have assumed as 1. But now it is changed from 1 to 0. Similarly, the value of Q bar is also changed from 0 to 1. So this is nothing but a toggling. I hope you have understood this particular thing. Okay. So just I am reading this particular point for you. That means for j equals to k equals to CLK equals to 1. That means when all three are nothing but equals to 1, the output will toggle between two states. That is, it is to opposite state of previous one. Right? So I hope you have understood this particular point. Up till this point, we have already discussed in the earlier lectures. That is the lectures before the Diwali vacations. I have just taken a revision of that particular thing, RS flip-flop and JK flip-flop. Okay. So now we will discuss about today's discussion, that is regarding D flip-flop and T flip-flop. So once you have understood the working of SR and JK flip-flop, these two flip-flops are very simple and very easy to understand. Okay. So now we will see D flip-flop. So the D flip-flop is constructed from the gated SR flip-flop. Okay. With an inverter added between S and R inputs to allow for the single D input. You can observe here. So this is the block diagram of D flip-flop. It is also called as So this D terminal is nothing but it is called as data terminal. Okay, so only one input is there. Until now we have seen two flip-flops, one is SR and another one is JK. So for both the flip-flops there were two inputs, but now in this case there is only one input. Obviously clock will be there and the output is again Q and Q bar. So this is the block diagram. Inside this block diagram what we have done actually you can observe. So this is the circuit diagram, complete circuit diagram. And if you observe this dash or dotted portion, okay, this particular rectangle, it is slightly shaded also. So this rectangle, if you observe, it is nothing but exactly equals to SR flip-flop diagram. It is nothing but the SR flip-flop, this shaded portion. Okay. Now what is the modification here? It has been done. You can observe this is D. So D, data input D is nothing but S only, because it is directly connected to S, right? Now what they have done to this particular reset is, you can observe they have put one NOT gate, one inverter. NOT gate is also called as inverter, right? So one NOT gate is placed between reset and D. So whatever is the value of D, its complemented value will be given to the reset terminal, right? So you can observe here, you can just read this particular point, that this single data input labeled as D, it is used in place of set signal. Okay, this D is used in place of set signal, and the inverter is used to generate the complementary reset input, thereby making D flip-flop from the SR flip-flop. So this S is taken as it is and we have denoted it as D, and what we have done with the R, we have put one particular NOT gate there, and the output of NOT gate, it is given to the reset terminal. Okay, so this particular thing is very important. So how to convert SR flip-flop to the D, we have just done this. That means this is nothing but SR flip-flop only, but now in this case the S will be equals to D, whereas R will be equals to D bar, because we have placed this particular NOT gate here, right? So again, this point is common to all the flip-flop, that the circuit gives output only when the clock pin is high. So this is regarding the construction of D flip-flop. So now we will see its working. Once you have understood the working of SR flip-flop, so it is very easy to understand the working of D flip-flop also. Now since only one input terminal is there, there will be only two conditions. Either the value of input terminal D will be either 0, or the input terminal D will be either equals to 1. Okay, so only two cases are there. So now when we will see what happens when the value of D is equals to 0. Okay, so I am again going back to the our circuit diagram of D flip-flop. Yes, right. Now we will see its working in detail. So now let's assume that this data input D is 0. So since D, the value of D is 0, the value of this S is also 0. It will be also 0. Clock will be always 1. Right. But now this is nothing but the input 0. 0 is given to the input of this NOT gate, and the output of NOT gate is nothing but a reset terminal. So this reset terminal will be now equals to 1. Okay. So the value of set will be equals to data input, but the value of reset terminal will be complement of the data input. Now this particular is nothing but SR flip-flop only, and you can clearly say that it is nothing but the reset condition. Why? Because reset terminal is high. So this, when the reset terminal is high, we have seen the truth table of SR flip-flop. Whenever the reset terminal is high, its output will be equal to 0. Output is nothing but normal output we are talking about. So inverted output will be, or complemented output will be 1, right? So from the truth table of SR flip-flop, once you have understood the working of SR flip-flop, and I'm writing this directly because what you can observe that the value of this reset is high, so the output will be reset to 0. Okay, so that means what we have got, so for the data, whenever the D equals to 0, then this particular flip-flop is reset to 0. Okay, why it is resetting to 0? Because internally your reset terminal becomes high. Okay, similarly, when the value of data input, let's say now it is 1, so now what will happen? This set will be also 1, but the value of this reset will be 0, because it is nothing but complement. It is the output of NOT gate, right? So whatever is the input value, the output will be its complement, and obviously this clock will be always 1. So now you can clearly observe that since the set terminal is 1 or set terminal is high and reset is 0, that means this flip-flop is the output of this flip-flop, that is Q will be set to 1. Since Q will be 1, the Q bar will be 0. Okay. How we are deriving at this conclusion? Directly, we are using the truth table of SR flip. Okay. I'll just go back. Just remember this case, we are it is 0. We are getting Q equals to 1. I will just show you the truth table of SR flip-flop. Here, you can observe when set input is 1 and reset is 0, the Q will be 1. Similarly, when reset input is high, the Q is reset to 0. Okay. So the D flip-flop is pretty much simple because it is nothing but somewhat the modification of SR flip-flop only. What is the modification? What we have taken only single input. Okay, so this single input is nothing but a set. It is connected directly to the set input, and the reset we have taken as the output of this NOT gate. Okay, so this is regarding D flip. So what we have discussed so far, so it is nothing but the working. You can observe when D equals to 1, the S equals to 1 and R will be 0. So the output Q will set to 1. Again, you can verify, right? Here we have stated, we have verified this particular truth table by using the SR flip-flop truth table. But again, if then you can also working in detail also. Okay, there is no problem. So what do you mean by detail? So just take one more example. Again, if d is equals to 1, the set terminal will be also and reset will be 0. The clock will be 1. So we have done, we have just observed the value of reset. It was high, so hence we have written q is also high. Okay, but if you are having any confusion in this, then you can go stepwise. Now for this NAND gate, what are the inputs? 1, 1. Two inputs are there, both are high. So the value of output of this particular NAND will be. Similarly, when one of the input to this NAND is 0, the output will be 1. Same concept I am again using here. When one of the input to this NAND is 0, you can observe the output you can write it as 1. So now this one is nothing but the input to this NAND gate. So now this 1 1 will be 0. Okay, we get the q is equals to 1 and q bar equals to 0. So you can go either way, there is no problem. So I will just wait for on this particular slide for a couple of minutes. Just go through it. If you are having any problem, then you can write it in the chat box, or you can unmute your mic and you can ask. Okay. If you are having any confusion in D flip flop. Okay, so I guess everything is clear to you now. No, there is the last flip flop is remaining, and it is nothing but T flip flop. Okay, so T is also called as toggle flip flop. From toggle, we have given the name it as T. In case of D, what was the from where we have taken D? From data, right? So to avoid the occurrence of the intermediate state in flop, only one input is provided to the flip flop. It is called as, sometimes it is called as trigger input or toggle input. Toggling means changing the next state output to complement of the present state output. So we already know about the toggling. Okay. So in JK flip flop, in the last case, see what do you mean by toggling? So toggling is nothing but whatever is your previous state, the next state will be its complement. So let if your value of q previous state is 0, then in next state will be 1 and so on. Okay. There is one point that to avoid the occurrence of the intermediate state, those are we will see flip flop, and after seeing that particular, after observing the truth T flip flop, it will be clear to you that the state in the truth table of SR flip flop, that is the states of set and reset, these are avoided in this particular T flip flop. You know, in SR flip flop there were actually 4 combinations were possible because of the 2 inputs. First output was no change. I will just go back to the, okay. So I'm talking about this particular truth table. So these four are actually our input combinations. So what T flip-flop, what they have done in the T flip-flop is that these intermediate states, means this state and reset states, these are removed. This will not be there. These two states will not be there in T flip-flop. Okay. But if you observe, these two states were there in the D flip-flop. In D flip-flop, there were only intermediate state were available, right? तो डी फ्लिप फ्लॉप में आपकी इंटरमीडिएट स्टेट, डी फ्लिप फ्लॉप में ये दो स्टेट नहीं थे, कौन से, 00 एंड 11. So these two states, that is 00 and 11, these two states will be there in T flip flop. Okay. So this intermediate state in the truth table of SR, they were in D flip flop, and what you can say, 00 state and 11 state. That means whenever the input S is equals to input R, then these two states are nothing but it is available in T flip flop. So anyway, we'll see that. This is just for the information. Okay. So now this is the block diagram of T flip flop. It is nothing but a very simple one, because again it will have only one input and two outputs, Q and Q bar. The actual this block diagram is like this. Okay. So if you observe JK flip flop and if you observe T flip flop, then there is a very minute modification is there. And what is that minute modification? So if you observe this complete rectangle, inside this rectangle, blue rectangle, is nothing but JK flip flop. This is the circuit diagram of JK flip flop. What we have done? We have only connected this J terminal, we have taken out, and we have just connected it to the K terminal. That's it. And the common terminal, we have named it as T. In case of D flip flop, it was S and it was R, and between S and R, we have kept one NOT gate. But here, no NOT gate is there. There is no NOT gate. Just you have simply connected J and K terminals, and one common terminal is taken out, and that common terminal we have termed it as T. Okay. So whatever is the value of T, the same will be the value of J as well as the value of K. Otherwise, everything will be same. So if you understand the working of JK completely, then T flip-flop will be very much simple to you. Okay, because we will be utilizing only two conditions of JK flip-flop here. Which are those two conditions? That when both inputs are equal. That means either the J and K can be equals to 0 or either J and K equals to 1. So we are utilizing these two conditions and not intermediate conditions. I'm again going back to the truth table of JK flip-flop. So you can observe here. So what we have done, we have just connected J and K. So whatever is the value of J, the value of K will be also same. So these two intermediate states will not be used. So this 0 case we will use, and the next one is 1 1. When J and K, the value of J and K both are equal, we are utilizing only these two conditions. Okay. and intermediate states are we are not using. So you can clearly state from here that whenever the value of t is 0, the jk will be equals to 0, because t is nothing but what we have done. We have connected j and k, and one common terminal is taken out, that is we have termed it as t. So whenever t is equals to 0, we are nothing but discussing this particular case. That means your output will be no change. And whenever the value of t is 1, that means k will be 1 and your output will be in toggle mode. Okay. From this truth table itself, it is pretty much clear. But anyway, we will see it's working in detail. Alright. So now again, since only one input is there, maximum input combinations are 2. Either the value of t will be 1 or the value of t will be 0. Let's assume the value of t is 0 first. Clock will be always high. So this is nothing but, if you observe, this is nothing but a clock to both NAND 3 input NAND gates. These two are 3 input NAND gates. Okay. So now for these 3 input NAND gates, only the value of 2 inputs are known. Here the value of j is known, that is 0, and the value of clock is 1. Similarly, for this lower 3 input NAND gate, again the value only 2 inputs are only known. So what we will do, we will assume initially that q equals to 0 and q bar is 1. So this q bar is nothing but connected to this particular terminal and it will be 1. This 0 is given to the one of the input to the lower NAND gate. Now for this NAND gate, all the inputs are 1 1 1, so the output will be 0. Similarly, for this NAND gate, one of the input, sorry, I think we have made a mistake. Okay, just we'll do it one more time. So now t is 0, that means the value of j, that is middle input, is also 0, and this input is also, k is also 0. The clock is 1, that means this is also 1 and this is also 1. What we have assumed, q is equals to 0 and q bar is 1. So q bar is connected here, it will be 1, and q is connected here, it will be 0. Okay, so now what will be the value of this output? The output of this NAND gate will be, when any one of the input is 0, the output of this NAND will be 1. So this here, the output of this NAND will be 1. Similarly, when one of the input to this NAND is 0, the output will be 1. So now both the outputs are 1 1. But now we have the value of q as 0. So if you observe this, it is nothing but the value of, okay, so this pin is nothing but q, so I have written the q here. Similarly, this q bar is given here. So now for this above 2 input NAND gate, the values is 1 1, so the output will be 0. Similarly here, when one of the input is 0, the output is 1. So you can observe what we have assumed, that the value of q is 0, and in the next state also we are getting the same. Similarly, the value of q bar also, in previous state we have assumed it is 1 and it is now in the next state it is same. So that means there is no change. Okay. Similarly, you can verify with the when q is equals to 1 and q bar equals to 0. If you start your working by assuming q equals to 1, then also you will find that there will be no change in the next state. Okay. So that means when t equals to 0, you can observe, when t equals to 0, j is equals to 0 and is equals to 0. Thus the output Q will remain in its previous state. That means there will be no change. So same thing I have written here. When clock is 1 and t is 0, there will be no change. Similarly, when t is equals to 1, what will happen when t equals to 1? When t equals to 1, clock will be always 1. Okay, so let's give this clock particular. Clock is common to both. And again, j will be also 1 and k will be also 1 because t is 1. Now again, let's assume initially the value of q is 1, so the q bar will be 0. Now this q bar is given to one of the input to the 3 input NAND gate. Similarly, this q, the value of this particular q is given to the input to the one of the 3 input NAND gate. So for this lower 3 input NAND gate, all the inputs are 1 1 1, so that means the output will be 0. For above 3 input NAND gate, when one of the input is 0, so whenever one of the input to the NAND gate is 0, the output is 1. Similarly, when one of the input to the NAND gate is 0, the output is 1. This one is given. This one is nothing but connected to here. So now it will become 1 1. So now the output of this NAND will be 0. Now observe, initially we have assumed the value of Q is 1. What we got in the next state, the value is changed to 0. Similarly, the value of Q bar initially it was 0. In the next state, it is changed from 0 to 1. That means toggling is happening here, right? Similarly, you can verify when the value of Q is 0, what will happen, and when the value of Q bar is 1, what will happen. So again, you will find the same, that whatever is the value of the Q in previous state, in the next state, its value will be changed. Okay, so this is nothing but the toggling mode. So whenever the value of t is 1, your output will keep, it will be in toggle mode. Okay, so same thing, it is in this truth table as well. When the value of t is 1, it is in toggle mode. Okay, so this working is very important, and T flip-flop is very useful. We will utilize the working of T flip-flop in the next lecture also, or rather in the next unit. We will see, we will be needing this T flip-flop. By using T flip-flop, we will design different counters and shift registers. Okay, so shift register, maybe we will use the D flip-flop in that, but in counters we will use T flip-flop. Okay. So make sure that you have understood the complete working of T flip-flop. It is quite simple actually. Just one modification we have done in JK flip-flop, and by that modification, the intermediate state in JK flip-flop truth table will be eliminated, and only the case combination 1, that is when J equals to K equals to 0, and when J equals to 1 equals to K. So only these two combinations are possible in T flip-flop. Okay, so that's it about today. If you are having any difficulty in any kind of flip-flop, whether it is SR, JK, D and T, you can ask me. Okay. And our practical session is scheduled at 2 p.m. Okay, so do join that session also. All right then. If you are having any problem, then you can ask me. Otherwise, we will conclude our session. So thank you.